Merry meet everyone. So I am very excited to start again the series of the tarot tutorials, and I'm going to be covering the Chariot today. I'm going to start where I left off, and I've had many requests from many of my subscribers to continue the series because they were learning a lot on them. So I'm going to start it again, and I'm going to be talking about the Chariot today. And I'm going to be covering all the bases of the card, the planet, the number, the colors, and also the symbols of the card and the reversed meaning as well. So I'm going to begin. Let's begin with the three types of decks that I'm using are the Jackson deck, which is this one, and I'll put the links and the names on the sidebar, the Druid Craft Tarot, and the Lo Scarabeo deck, which is very traditional. I love to use the Lo Scarabeo deck, and the reason being is because it's very traditional, and it really shows what really the traditional chariot looks like. So we could kind of cover symbols and all kinds of things. Okay, so let's begin with the number 7. The chariot is number 7. Okay, and 7 is a number that it talks about choice. It talks about the need to make a decision. So when you get a 7 in a specific area in your reading or a question you're asking, it definitely is talking about making a decision that needs to be made. A change, a turning point, rebellion, intuition, means follow your intuition when 7 comes up. The completion of a phase or a cycle. It also talks about justice and divinity, spiritual development. So when you get 7s like this and you're basically asking a question, it could be, let's say, about work, and you want to know what you should do. Basically, follow your intuition is the major thing that comes up, because 7 is a very spiritual number, and it talks about intuition, but it's also talking about connecting to the divine. Okay, so that's what that means. It's also talking about harmony and wisdom. Okay, the chariot is the planet that it's ruled is it's a major arcana, as we know, and the planet is Uranus. And the lunar sign is Cancer. Uranus is a planet of abstract thought, theory, intellect, analysis, astrology, and technical advances, independence, and the dispassionate search for the truth. Cancer, in the other side, is a water sign and is related to our feeling nature, and the planet Neptune, associated with meditation and respite, is exalted in Cancer. So a prominence of 7s in your reading suggests an original analytical approach to learning. Any travel will now be welcome and enjoyable. You may also have the opportunity to do some writing and research or occult study. Okay, relationship issues and career matters take a backseat to self-awareness. So if you're talking or asking about a relationship and you get a 7 in any type of suit in the deck, it's basically going to be a while for things to take place. It's going to take a back seat. That's what that means. Along with, of course, looking at the suit and looking at the symbols and all that type of thing. It also talks about a time of analysis when you get 7. That's what 7 means. And reflection and meditation rather than action. So definitely saying to the 7 is a number that talks about thinking about things through really good in a meditation or meditative state. Take your time in basically making your decision. Because 7 is a spiritual number, the 7th personal year, if you get it in your personal year numerology, is a time for reflection, rest, meditation, retreat, soul searching, and any kind of research. It's a great time to use the tarot for spiritual awareness if you get this in your personal year. Okay, so we already covered the planets. We covered the number, what it means. Now we're going to talk about the chariot itself. And what we see in this card is a person moving forward with 2 horses. Okay, That's basically what we're seeing here. And in all these, we have 3 or 4 horses. And here we have 2 horses. So the horse, I looked it up and did some research, and the horse represents solar energy. Okay, it represents forces, very strong forces and energies. It is also in Native American teachings, it's considered to be a very powerful being. It also says that in my research that I did, that the horse has a powerful impact on civilization even today. Okay, you can see the horse in the major arcana basically in the Chariot. In the death card, sometimes you'll see it. And the sun, you will also see it. Okay, the horse also talks about going forward or traveling in great distances and carrying a heavy load. Okay, as you can see, the horse always carries a heavy load. So the horse also represents freedom, and it's an animal that represents freedom and adventure. So when you get this card, definitely it's talking about moving ahead with whatever you're asking about, and there's going to be a lot of freedom. You're going to be very free in making decisions. The Chariot also, in the meaning of the card when it comes up, is talking about triumph, progress, ambition, success, energy to fight for a goal, news, very positive, victory resulting from personal efforts, balancing conflicting emotions, going with the flow. It could represent a new car that's coming in your life, transportation, communication. It talks about a travel or a trip, or taking a trip. The Chariot also suggests to stay centered and take control of competing forces to carry on. If you asked about whatever it is, it's going to resolve in a very favorable way. So when you ask a question in the Chariot, comes up in a positive upright position, definitely it's a very positive card. It talks about triumph over or success over overcoming obstacles. It talks about good, travel could be involved with your question. It can also be that you're going to have to make a decision. And it says that also you may feel unable to speed up the outcome, so the best course of action is to go with the flow of the forces you have set in motion. So you can't push the situation that you're asking about. Things have to take its course. It's going to go forward, whatever you're asking when you get this card, but it's going to take some time, and it's going to have a progressive nature where things are going to move very steadily forward, but it's just going to take time. If you're asking about a person, this person could be described as a military person, a traveler, a professional driver, those that are at peace with themselves, and it's a person that's involved with transport or likes to travel, or it could also be a person that's involved in the communicative fields. Okay, now I'm going to talk about it in the reversed position really quickly. I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to try to cover the most that I can. In the reversed position, it's talking about out of control. The situation you're asking about is totally out of control. And it talks about pressure, it talks about failure or overweening ambition, imbalance, obstacles, struggle, conflict, anxiety, suspicion, insecurity, moodiness, and bothering relationship, a trip delayed or canceled, an automobile accident, car problems. It's bigger than, whatever it is, and scattered energy. In persons, it could be a person that's very conflicted, unbalanced person, a reckless driver, a Machiavellic person. So this card is very, I'm running out of time, but yeah, it's talking about a very negative person. Okay, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I'm going to put some more notes on the side, and let me know if you have any questions. Many blessings.